Professional wrestling is the one true sport. Other sports have their share of intense, dramatic moments, but nothing can compare with professional wrestling. Welcome to Wrestling History X, where three friends come together to talk about the stories behind the matches. I'm Matt.
And I'm Mike Enos.
And I'm hoping I remember how to do this. Guess what? I'm back, motherfuckers!
Hey, there you
Woo!
go.
Oh yeah, I'm Shane.
Yeah, break the glass.
The wrong show for that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's... He's deserving of the Stone Cold intro.
I'm lost now because I'm like, make some noise! Nope, still wrong show.
Mm-hmm. Who in WCW has a good entrance song at the moment? I like Goldberg's, but it's not very it's not. There's not energetic.
I don't have a sparkler I can hold up, but yeah, that'd be.
Is DDP's good?
Self-high
Yeah,
five.
I mean it's Nirvana, so.
And Sting's is gone now because he just. I don't even know where Sting is.
I mean, Wolfpack, you get the Wolves.
Wolfpack's song sucks.
Yeah, Wolfpack, they took a song I didn't really like and just made it unbearable.
But welcome to episode 344, Sold Out, 1999.
No turning back.
That's right, guys. We have to go forward.
That's right.
No lefts, no rights.
That's right. And, don't stop on the highway because somebody may slam into the back of your car.
And if your company ends, you're not necessarily turning around. You're just stopping, facing forward.
Very true.
A little bit of foreshadowing.
But this is the third annual Sold Out produced by WCW. It would take place on January 17th, 1999 from the Charleston Civic Center in Charleston, West Virginia with an attendance of 10,833 people.
It's
Probably a good number for Charleston, West Virginia. Charleston, South Carolina?
I mean,
probably
I
good.
feel
Probably
like it's probably a sellout.
Yeah,
I guess
it's just a smaller venue.
I just had Charleston stuck on the brain. I'm like, that's a small number for Charleston, but I keep forgetting it's West Virginia.
Wrong Charleston, yeah.
Yeah.
Buy rate of 330,000 that is. But yeah, it's a smaller market, so I'm sure if it's not sold out, it's probably pretty close. But most wrestling companies today would love.
I mean, when it originally opened,
10,000 people, except for WWF, who has no issue with that.
No, you give us your money.
That's what happens when you're been the monopoly for 25 years.
it's like 13.5, maybe total sellout.
Yeah, so ain't too bad.
It's not the 16s they were racking up on a regular basis. But
No,
I mean, they're not in Georgia this week. So.
Exactly. Smaller market.
they're not in 1996 anymore either.
Also true.
But we are. I mean, we're talking about it. We're in Charleston, West Virginia.
We are.
Didn't know there was
So,
one.
Shane, did
Matt.
you do what you do?
Well, I was going to ask you the same, Matt. I mean, I haven't been here in a few weeks, and you probably were just waiting for another phone call or text message of another
Mishap.
what the fuck happened now.
Yeah, kudos to Matt for taking for actually continuing it. So I was just like, oh, we're just gonna skip that part, and Matt was like, no, I got it.
So let me reverse it on you, Matt. Did you do what I do?
I did. So I got on the old Google machine.
Awesome.
I mean, I actually did do it.
Yeah, of course
I
you
did.
did.
Actually
Telling
did.
you.
No, he used
Google
Bing.
What the fuck do you eat in Charleston, West Virginia? We've been to South Carolina enough, but
I think this is literally our first time in West Virginia, so it kind of made it a little bit easier.
True.
save that to the trivia memory for whenever that year rolls around again.
So I basically looked up West Virginia's official foods, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's super simple to do, and I actually found that in West Virginia they have pepperoni rolls. It's an Italian-American stuffed bread roll. Basically, take a roll, pepperoni in it, roll it up, bake it off.
A stuffed cheese bread with
Which-
the cheese on the inside.
I mean, the original version was just pepperoni and bread, because the miners in the early days,
Little meat pies.
they literally would have a loaf of bread, and they would get some meat. And basically...
a cured meat that's not going to go bad.
Exactly. And, pepperoni sticks were a big thing back then.
Yeah.
And so, instead of... They're in the dark, so instead of, trading off eating bread and pepperoni, someone was just like, why don't we put it inside the bread? And they came up with pepperoni bread.
Carbs, protein.
Is that what they're called, though? Pepperoni rolls? Or do they have a funky West Virginia...
It's just called pepperoni rolls.
I feel like those people are going to be to the point.
Like
yeah, minor mittens.
And so, you would think, this is such a simple item that an Italian restaurant around here somewhere would have the pepperoni roll on their menu.
We don't have a whole lot of authentic Italian places. They're pretty American
the
Italian.
Closest you might get are those little
so you would think maybe
puff cup things that they have at Little Caesars, because I know they have those
Yeah,
little
I mean,
pepperoni
it's-
or a stuffed
cupcake things.
stuffed cheese bread, but that's not the
Yeah,
same thing.
or those garlic knots and
So, couldn't find any place around here that actually had them. I actually found that you can actually order them from a bakery in West Virginia.
Which seems crazy.
I was like, we need 3 of them, basically. So I was just like, that seems like an expensive venture. So I just went and bought the stuff and made them myself.
smart.
And the fun part was the bread rising, because behind the scenes we pushed back our recording, and so I had left it out, and so
My fault again.
and so the bread ended up rising inside of the plastic bag because I had left it out to unthaw. And so it was just like
Waiting for the day that
so it was
changes.
just like one big glob of dough that I ended up having to
It was like the stuff or the blob. Which is like, what?
Like baked flubber.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's
it was
blubber.
pretty
That's the
funny.
kid-friendly version.
But if you go out there on X, we'll definitely throw some pictures of
That's right.
of these out there.
It's very soft, very fluffy. Tapping it in front of the microphone just so you can hear.
Sounds
it's got
like
a nice
Cuban,
little.
but it's not as crunchy as
Uh-uh.
Cuban.
It's a nice little fluffy pillow here, but I mean, I know I didn't make this or buy this or what anything, but I'm gonna do like I typically have done in the past. So far, not in 1999, and I'm gonna take a bite on the air. So here we go in front of my microphone. It's not gonna make any noise because it's a soft pillow. But 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Yeah, nothing but deliciousness.
But yeah, like the kind of the grease from the pepperoni kind of like soaks into the bread to like.
Yeah, it's strong. A good. Yeah, it's simple. It doesn't look flavorful, but pepperoni goes a long way.
Stretches the flavor from end to end.
And I actually did, and like traditionally there wasn't cheese in it, but there's many versions that you can put cheese in, and basically you just took some string mozzarella cheese
Nice.
and just put it right in the middle of it, and so it gets melty and gooey in there, and
I guess,
And I guess when they're fresh out of the oven, it probably has a good little cheese pull too.
Probably.
Yeah, we did it the minor way. They're not bringing cups of marinara in there, but I think that would have been nice.
but it's not a pizza roll.
It's not a pizza roll. That's
It's a
true. It's a
pepperoni
pepperoni roll. I left the marinara in the refrigerator. I said, Matt, do we need marinara? He said, nah. I was like, okay, all right. But he was right. It's good.
But something that would also come out right around the same time as Sold Out, the WCW NWO Thunder video game would come out a few days earlier.
This is the one for PlayStation 1, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, you could get it for $10 because it stunk. I remember purchasing it for cheap because video games have always been expensive, but this was a cheap one. I liked wrestling, and I did not get a lot of mileage out of this game, and I played a lot of bad wrestling games. I'm looking at you, what was the Raw game for PlayStation? PlayStation 1 had it bad for wrestling games until, at least in America, because like I'm sure the Fire Pro and there was Japanese ones that were great, but for a WWF or WCW fan that had a PlayStation in the late 90s, early 2000s, you were SOL until SmackDown came out. And oof, this one stunk. I was always jealous of my cousin. He'd play the crap out of those good wrestling games, and he didn't even watch wrestling.
Yeah, I never.
And then he was better at it, so when I was over there, he beat me, and he didn't even know who all the guys were.
I never played this one. I mean, I played the old NWO, the old Nintendo WrestleMania game.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was
not good, but
no.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it was fun. It was fun
for
when I was
1980s Nintendo games.
It was fun when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
What's I think it was out on Super Nintendo, the one where it's like the photo image versions of the guy, and it was basically just like, what if Street Fighter sucked ass?
I remember the old arcade game they had for like WWF Superstars or something like that.
Yeah.
Those ones were fun. But yeah, once the PlayStation and what was the other one, Nintendo 64, once those systems came around, I didn't buy another game system, and I never really played them all that much because I was newly into my 20s and there was plenty of drinking to do, and video games just were frowned upon for 20-something-year-olds. Now they're expected and required for job training and whatnot, or anger management or something.
I think I played the one that came out right after Thunder, which was Mayhem.
Let me see the cover of this one if you got it.
Of the Thunder one?
Of the one we're talking. Oh yeah, the one that came out. Yeah, it came sucked.
I mean, yeah, I played this one, but Mayhem I played, I think, even more because my buddy had the.
Oh yeah, I didn't play that one.
Had the Nintendo 64 version of it, so we'd go over there and like play that one.
And you were like, "Why is this not WCW Revenge or whatever?" Because I imagine Mayhem was not great either.
I remember Revenge.
I mean, it was
Nitro.
Whatever.
The Thunder game is notoriously bad. Like, I've watched stupid YouTube videos that like talk about how much it stinks.
Maybe it was.
I think it also had a really terrible roster of characters.
Apparently, there was a Super Nintendo Super Brawl game, but I did not play that one.
Maybe it's 2K14 is the one that I got.
Yeah, I don't think I played anything past maybe SmackDown 2. I haven't played any of the PlayStation, any of the 2K 2 or 3 games or whatever.
I just remember the last wrestling video game that I played, it had NXT in it, and Finn Balor would wrestle as the Demon all the time, and at that point, I had no clue who Finn Balor or the Demon was.
Yeah.
And I was just like, who the fuck is this guy? Because he was so tough on the game.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, well, that's the character who comes out when you know he's not going to lose.
I just remember, like, it was so tough. Or at least he was. But
that was probably also around the time where they actually, like, pushed him.
Yeah, I mean...
Because he was a champion.
I mean, it was right before he came up and won the world title.
Oh.
But then got hurt and has never seen it again. Well, let's talk some Sold Out. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more about Canyon.
I know a lot about him, but I'd like to know more about his wrestling. Because it's kind of a bummer what ends up happening to the man.
So we open up on Tony Schiavone announcing that the program is being interrupted to bring us a special report.
Uh-oh.
Ric Flair, WCW's president, stands before us, humbled by this premier event, saying that WCW is in control, thanking everyone who remained loyal, calling the WCW the strongest organization in wrestling. The Nature Boy continues that hundreds of people stand behind him, that he isn't alone, promising to persevere who remain against the NWO. This time, WCW will reign supreme as we're reunited and looking very good.
Oh, yeah, we really screwed this up the first 3 times. And it sounds like they're doing it right. Rick's selling it. He looks good.
Mm-hmm. Very presidential.
We go to the arena where Pyro's going off as Tony welcomes everyone to the show, joined by Mike Tenay and Bobby, the Brain Heenan. They discuss the card where Bobby thinks Scott Hall needs to run for his life, while Tenay says David Flair will be under a microscope. But Rick trusts him before they talk about the loser wears a dress and 4 corners contests. Schiavone then plugs the hotline when a disturbance backstage interrupts him, where we discover Goldberg on the floor of his locker room, holding his leg in pain, only to still throw a chair at the cameraman and yelling at him to leave.
When framing somebody for sexual assault doesn't work, just crack him in the knee.
And the commentators are confused. Was he attacked, or did he fall?
Did he fall? Did he fall?
Did he fall?
Yeah. Goldberg, the guy that doesn't crack beers and seems to be friends with every cop. Did he fall over? And is bigger than everybody on the show.
Most, yeah.
So we go to our first match. Mike Enos
Mike Enos
versus Chris Benoit. And we haven't seen Enos since World War III, 1998, episode 330.
He was the king of thunder, right?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if I remember right, we wouldn't have the Outsiders without him, though. So
Oh, really?
when he the one that was in the ring when Scott Hall made his entrance down to the ring.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think he was one of the people. So our competitors trade strikes when the Crippler catches a boot, countering it into a dragon screw leg whip. But Mike answers back with a gut-wrench backbreaker and a power slam for a 2 count. Enos keeps up the attack with a clothesline, a bear hug,
Fuck yeah.
and a vertical suplex. When Benoit rallies with chops and a sunset flip for a near fall. But Mike cuts off the comeback with eye rakes and headbutts. The Crippler then counters out of a back suplex and a clothesline attempt to nail a pair of rolling German suplexes before heading up top for a flying headbutt that gets a 2 count. Benoit then charges into a back elbow, allowing Enos to deliver a weak clothesline, followed by going for another suplex, only for the Crippler to counter into a crossface for the submission and the win.
This felt like some good old American wrestling. Nothing fancy. They did most things right. Mike Enos had a pretty weak clothesline, but you know. Also, can you have a bad match and still call yourself a wrestler if the man across from you is Chris Benoit? You know what I mean? It's like oof. If yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I was pleased with it, but still at the same time had my slight little head turn of why the hell is Mike Enos starting the show?
Because you got to start
That's
somewhere.
a good question.
Yeah.
Benoit has to cripple somebody, though, I guess.
I mean, the crowd knew what was up as they booed Mike Enos and cheered Chris Benoit, which probably a lot of them regret at this point, but they didn't know what was going to happen.
We then go to a video package on Hall and Goldberg, where we see Scott using the stun gun at Starrcade and Nitro, with Bill calling it the worst mistake of Hall's life, before showing J.J. Dillon announcing the stun gun ladder match,
Ugh.
with Goldberg telling Hall that he's first.
I smell a Russo.
He's not here yet.
Really?
No.
They were doing this dumb shit before that.
Well, Hall's the king of the ladder match.
I know, but
I mean, this is, it's technically a ladder match. This isn't necessarily a insert as something on a pole match.
yeah, there's a reason we talk about that first ladder match, and he's not here.
Yeah.
His name is Sean, and he's why that worked so well. But Scott Hall met him there, and was able to do the things that were asked of him. Goldberg, Hall, we'll see how this starts out.
So we go to our second match. Norman Smiley versus Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Ooh, Chavo.
The story behind this match was that Smiley had won the night after Starrcade by using Pepe as a distraction. But Chavo would get the win back in a rematch. The two would begin costing each other in matches when Guerrero would throw a birthday party for Pepe, until Norman crashed it, shoving Chavo into the cake and stealing the hobby horse. Smiley would ride it around the arena when he found a wood chipper, tossing it in to destroy poor Pepe.
Ooh, someone just saw Fargo.
Right? Ooh.
A few years late, but hey, they always are. Razor Ramon, like his character came out like a decade after Scarface.
So Smiley walks out with an urn filled with Pepe's remains. So when Chavo spots it, he begins to chase Norman around the ring, only for Smiley to get the advantage as Guerrero enters. Chavo would answer back with a clothesline and a slingshot plancha before returning to the ring to work over his opponent in the corner with a springboard bulldog. But Norman fights back with a hot shot to the turnbuckle, a clothesline, and a spinning scoop slam for a 2 count. Smiley begins to work holds on the mat to wear down Guerrero, only for Chavo to escape and attempt a springboard splash. But Norman gets his knees up, followed by dropping him across the ropes. Smiley continues the punishment with more holds, such as a surfboard and a body scissors, before nailing a swinging neckbreaker for a near fall.
Get him, Norman. This guy's carrying around toys.
Norman returns to the holds, only for Guerrero to fight back with roll-ups. So Smiley pokes the eyes to regain control to deliver a back elbow and a superplex for a 2 count. More submission holds by Norman include locking on a sleeper, which Chavo breaks free to apply one of his own. But Smiley then escapes with a back suplex. And they begin exchanging strikes when Guerrero charges in, only for Norman to avoid and hit a back body drop for a near fall. And Smiley applies a gory special. But Chavo counters it into a sunset flip, only for Norman to stay up and choke lift his opponent. But Guerrero attempts to reverse it into a victory roll, but it's blocked for Smiley to give a big wiggle and a spank to Chavo, only for Norman to be pulled over finally into a roll-up for a 2 count. Another victory roll by Guerrero for a near fall, followed by another springboard bulldog. But Smiley catches him, only for Chavo to flip out into a waistlock, which leads to a standing switch and a chicken wing attempt, when Guerrero counters it into a tornado DDT attempt. But Norman just shoves his opponent away. Smiley then grabs the urn and throws ashes into the face of Chavo.
Oh no.
Before locking in the Norman Conquest for the submission and the win.
I hate Pepe. I love Norman.
But I hate Pepe.
Yeah, this feels very storyline wise, because in the ring it was more interesting than a new generation WWF New Generation match.
Mm-hmm.
But the story was like that, like the eye roll. It's like, oh, this was the era where everybody was like, WWF kind of stinks. But the match, I thought they both did a good job. I liked Chavo's being a little bit more serious because he was upset, and match was a little long considering who was involved, but I like Norman's style.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy some crazy Chavo in
Love him in the ring.
in doses. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. After a few minutes of him being in character, it can be a little bit much, but yeah.
There's just something different about the way that, of course, it's rude to compare anybody to Mick Foley, but the way Mick Foley pulls off Sacco, it's like nobody else can do that. And then like you have something that's even dumber in like a hobby horse, which is just a toy for a 5-year-old, and it's like Mick Foley probably couldn't pull that off. So like, what is Chavo doing? He's a competent wrestler, but you got to try things out to get noticed.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone from praising Al Snow and his mannequin head.
Yes. It also shouldn't work, but he sells it.
Yeah. And then
We're not saying it's not stupid.
Yeah.
We're saying it's good,
we
we like it in spite of how stupid it is.
Yes, you need the right person to get it over, and Chavo is not the right person,
No,
unfortunately.
he's trying.
Yeah.
We go to the WCW.com room backstage where Mark Madden interviews Konnan, reminding K-Dog that he once said the Wolfpack was forever, but Nash gave him a beating that lasted forever. So what's next for Konnan? And K-Dog responds that Kevin and Luger showed him love and offered him advice, wanting to know who ordered them to kick him out of the NWO, as he promises to hunt them down.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Checks out. I guess maybe I just assume that they think he's way over with his chant.
I mean, basically, I think they kicked him out because he's too good for the B team, but he's not good enough for the A team.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
So we go to our third match. Finlay versus Van Hammer. And we haven't seen Hammer since World War III 98, episode 330. And Finlay has issues with the ref and fans to begin with, when his opponent lands some offense, only for Fit to answer back with strikes, short arm clotheslines, a jawbreaker, and a slam.
Very funny visual, as Van Hammer is a full foot taller than Finlay.
And Van Hammer rallies with a headbutt, elbow drops, and locks on a leg grapevine, which Finlay breaks by raking the ice. But Hammer responds with a jawbreaker, slam, and a baseball slide that sends Fit to the floor. And the two men begin fighting on the apron until Finlay snaps Van Hammer's head across the ropes, before bringing his opponent back in to whip to the corner, charging in after only for Hammer to avoid. Fit is then picked up for a slam, but he floats out the back to apply a sleeper, only for Van Hammer to snapmare him down and hit a clothesline in the corner, taking Finlay down with a big boot and a power slam for a 2 count.
Look at them not doing the sleeper for sleeper combo.
Fit then ducks a clothesline and lifts Hammer up into a rolling fireman's carry, followed by a tombstone piledriver for the pin and the win.
I guess probably because a sleeper from Van Hammer on Finlay would look very funny.
Perhaps. Or maybe Hammer doesn't really know how to do a sleeper all that well.
yeah. I'm sure he's wonderful at a bear hug.
We then go to a video package on Flair's issues with Barry Windham and Curt Hennig. The Nature Boy vowed to get a piece of them before his son David offered to team with him, only for Nate to say he wasn't ready. But Arn Anderson disagreed, saying he knew what he was doing.
Is this Arn's biggest mistake?
Either that or the Glock.
The what?
The Glock.
Oh.
He did it in AEW. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Is it like a gun?
Like, yeah, he was doing a promo with Cody and, like pulled his
out.
hand out of his, to act like it was a Glock. And he, like, take this Glock or something like that. It was a bad
Just
promo.
a bad promo,
It
yeah.
was just like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Arn, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's like AEW's the more liberal of the shows, and WWF would never do a gun gag. WWF would never do a gun gag again since 1997.
Yeah. If it doesn't have a little bang flag.
Mm-hmm.
Hennig would then accuse Flair of sacrificing his kid's well-being, while Windham says the Nature Boy is just leading him to the slaughter.
I mean, pretty harsh line from Hennig, but he didn't know what was going to happen.
But we go to our 4th match, Wrath versus Bam Bam Bigelow.
WCW. Say this is where the big boys play, and both of these men are big.
Yeah.
And Finlay's big in his own way, and Van Hammer's big in his own way.
Big
But
enough to where Bobby even
I can't
comments
remember
on
the
size
last
of
time I
boobs.
saw Sting. Like, where are the stars?
He's getting sober. Making movies or something.
Yeah, The Crow 2 straight to video.
So the story behind this match was that the two men fought to a no contest on an episode of Nitro, which we watched.
Mm-hmm.
Wrath would then interfere in Bam Bam's match with Scott Hall, allowing the NWItes to use the stun gun on him to gain a victory. Bigelow would search for Wrath backstage, demanding a fight with him at this pay-per-view.
I'm always happy to see a Bigelow.
Mm-hmm.
So the two men are trading shoves and strikes to begin when Wrath nails a bicycle kick to send Bam Bam to the floor, returning to shoulder block his opponent down, only to miss a falling headbutt, allowing Wrath to answer back with a facebuster, chops, and arm holds. Bigelow reverses a whip and delivers a corner splash, charges in again, but Wrath gets the boot up and leaps off the second rope with a clothesline for a 2 count. Bam Bam then ducks another clothesline, taking control with a hot shot, headbutts, choking, and chin locks, only to miss a charge into a corner, with Wrath capitalizing to hit a drop kick and a shoulder block. Bigelow reverses a whip to nail a power slam for a near fall, followed by a DDT that gets a 2 count, when both men start running the ropes, trying for clotheslines, leaving both men down. Back to their feet, they trade strikes, with Wrath gaining the advantage with a corner splash. He tries for another, but Bam Bam sidesteps and shoves his opponent into the ring post. Bigelow then picks up Wrath to deliver greetings from Asbury Park for the pin and the win.
You know what I would like to do is listen to Bruce Springsteen with Bam Bam Bigelow. Because there's no way he's not a fan.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I mean, he's a Jersey boy.
Yeah, he's a Jersey boy. I mean, that's the name of the first Bruce album, which isn't the best one, but there's songs in there.
Yeah, Bruce has some songs.
This is kind of weird because it's like, oh, we're not pushing Wrath, and everybody knows Bam Bam doesn't stay anywhere for long enough.
I mean,
But I'm always happy to see Bam Bam.
he sticks around here in WCW for a while.
Does he? I feel like he's one of those guys that if you just stuck with one company for long enough. But also,
Trying to remember.
you know, we have Hogan in the way over here, and then like just like kind of too little too late, like with Ricky Steamboat, where it's like everybody loves Ricky Steamboat, but he just went away too often. So he's not he's remembered by lovers of wrestling, but he's not talked about in like daily conversations of like the best or anything like that. One for the heads.
So we go to our fifth match. Konnan versus Lex Luger.
We got a star here. Lex Luger. He's a star.
He is.
So the story behind this match was that Lex had accidentally cost K-Dog his TV title in a match with Scott Steiner. Luger would then begin bullying Rey Mysterio, causing Konnan to ask him to stop. When Nash and the NWO would arrive, leading to a beatdown and removing K-Dog's Wolfpack gear and kicking him out of the group.
I wish I knew more Spanish.
I
got that part.
Bowdy,
I was going to try to do like a parody.
Bowdy, something like that.
Yeah. We get it. Okay, dog.
So Konnan takes the mic to talk about the drama between him and the Pack. That Kevin and Lex started this before doing his shtick, saying Wolfpack is for life, but he is a Vato Loco forever. Followed by telling Luger to toss his salad and peel his potatoes.
Yeah, that was a wild line.
Yeah.
Prison rules, man.
Peel potatoes is pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever heard that one before, but I kind of understand what he's trying to say here. Eat my ass and shave my balls. I don't think he meant shave.
Either that, or maybe he's as big as a potato and he just peel back that skin because he's Konnan.
I know. I was like, this is a little racy for WCW. They never quite felt I never really got the extreme or attitude vibe from them, even when they're trying to do it.
Yeah,
they never quite. They don't understand the zeitgeist. Somebody should have gave Eric Bischoff a Korn CD.
Lex also has something to say when he gets to the ring, feeling unnecessary anger from K-Dog. All he gave was a love tap and a wake-up call. Sorry you didn't make the cut. Before giving Konnan a chance to walk away, or he'll beat his brains in. But K-Dog decides to fluster Lex with strikes, a Manhattan drop, and a clothesline to start, sending Luger outside to regroup, only for Konnan to give chase, leading to them brawling. Now back inside, Konnan keeps up the attack with stomps and chokes, when Luger avoids a dropkick to change the momentum, and starts working the back with boots, elbows, and forearms. And Lex goes for a turnbuckle smash, only to be blocked and reversed by K-Dog. But Luger answers right back to knock Konnan out of the ring. And Lex continues the punishment by running his opponent into the apron, locking on a bear hug, and nailing a clothesline that causes K-Dog to roll out. Only for Luger to head out to bring Konnan back into the ring. And Lex whips his opponent, but he charges into a big boot, leading to K-Dog rallying with a crossbody, a rolling lariat, and a seated dropkick. Miss Elizabeth then makes her way out to the ring, while Konnan nails a facebuster and applies the tequila sunrise, only for Liz to run over and spray paint into K-Dog's eyes. Luger then lifts Konnan up into the torture rack for the submission and the win.
This passed the bear hug test, as Lex Luger is quite taller than Konnan.
Yes.
And when Miss Elizabeth came out, I just got bummed because I remembered that she died from doing pills with Lex Luger.
That's my thought too when I saw her run out.
And I was like, oh yeah, that's what happened.
There.
Yeah, sad. And I think Lex has kind of turned it around and seems to be a very charming man. Granted, he kind of lost everything by being a man in a wheelchair at this point. Seems like a nice guy to have dinner with, but when I saw Miss Elizabeth walk out, I was just like,
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, brother.
So we go to our sixth match. Saturn versus Chris Jericho with Ralphus in a loser must wear a dress match. And the story behind this match was that Perry's issues with referee Scott Dickinson continued, costing Saturn multiple matches. And Perry began complaining about the ref and Jericho, demanding a match, only for Chris to say Saturn cried so much he should wear a dress.
A little light misogyny.
That Jericho.
Yeah,
always
right.
creating matches.
And Jericho's been the reason that the ref has an issue with Saturn. He's been a little worm in his ear. Some of it recently on television, and this is a pay-per-view, so we're looking for a finish.
Ralphus carries a paper bag to the ring, with Heenan thinking it's either his luggage or his lunch. Tony says it's the dress. So the brain asks, a paper dress? Only for Shivani to say, in the bag, moron.
If they really wanted to put this over, they should have had Ralphus come out in the dress. And then whoever has to wear the dress at the end, Ralphus takes it off, and he's in underwear, and everybody laughs at him because it's 1999, and that's what they would have done on WWF.
Very true.
It's like you just have to think about it for like 30 seconds longer and give Ralphus an extra $80.
So today also says there was a change to the stipulation. Originally, it was only applied to Saturn, but now both men are in danger of wearing the dress.
Why would anybody agree to that?
While Tony also mentions that Dickinson is the ref for this match.
Why would anybody agree to that?
yeah.
I mean, he even wonders
Exactly.
why J.J. Dillon would allow it.
If I had a match against Shane and I was like, one of us has to wear a dress, like only I have to wear a dress if I lose, but if he loses, he just lost, be like, well then the match, then I'm not signing the contract. Yeah. Like, it's either we both do it or nobody does it.
So we get strikes and takedowns to begin until the ref admonishes Jericho for cheap tactics, leading to Perry nailing a clothesline, a spinning heel kick, a slam, and a springboard leg drop for a 2 count. Chris responds with a hot shot and a springboard drop kick that sends Saturn into the railing before flying out with a plancha atop his opponent. And Jericho keeps up the attack with a front suplex on the floor before bringing Perry in the hard way for a cocky near fall. And Saturn doesn't like the disrespect and begins hammering away on Chris, but a poke to the eyes allows Jericho to deliver a big boot and a senton for a 2 count. Chris starts to wear his opponent down with a chin lock, followed by slamming Perry down and dropping a leg for a near fall. But back to their feet, they trade strikes when Jericho avoids a clothesline to hit one of his own before going for a lion salt. But Saturn gets his knees up, followed by a T-bone suplex and a sit-out flapjack for a 2 count. Now Chris counters a swinging neckbreaker into a double underhook slam, only for Perry to avoid a dropkick to deliver a catapult, sending Jericho over the ropes and allowing Saturn to nail a dropkick through him. And Chris is tossed back in with Perry headed up top to deliver a flying splash for the near fall, which leads to the competitors going through a sequence of pin attempts, all for 2 counts. Jericho's then whipped to a corner, where he attempts to leap up and over, but Saturn knocks his feet out, causing Chris to crotch himself on the top, with Perry joining him to hit a super back suplex, only for Jericho to flip out and land on his feet. He charges in, but Saturn catches him on his shoulders, only for Chris to escape and take down Perry to lock on the Lion Tamer, which Saturn blocks, hooking his opponent with an inside cradle, when Scott Dickinson would roll Jericho back on top and make the fast count for the pin and the win. Post-match, Chris hands the ref the paper bag, telling him to give it to Perry, who yanks it away from Dickinson. As Heenan says, Saturn is a man of his word. Perry begins putting the dress on as Jericho jumps for joy, followed by Saturn burying his face in his arms. So the ref goes to help by zipping up the dress, only for Perry to chase him out of the ring, sending Chris, Ralphus, and Dickinson all having a good laugh as they walk to the back.
That's a big-ass dress, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looked like it was perhaps Ralphus' size, so maybe that was the thought originally.
I'm sure it was pretty stretchy. It was supposed to be a tight-fitting dress.
I just like how the ref came up at the end and tried to zip him up, too.
It was very funny. Dude, where's the eye poke gone? When was the last time you saw an eye poke?
It went out with Roddy Piper.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where I'm
There was,
like,
there was an eye poke in this.
no, here, but that's what made me
wrestling.
think about it, like modern wrestling. Like I can't remember the last time I saw
Flair, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure Flair did one in that last match where he also had a heart attack.
Yeah.
But
Oh, we definitely did.
he definitely did an eye poke. But I'm just saying, like a heel doing an eye poke, I don't think that people would. I don't think anybody would laugh at it and call it old and corny these days.
Mm-mm.
I think it might be a nice thing that I'd like to see return.
You know, it's retro. It's a callback.
Yeah, and plus I prefer older wrestling typically. I like a collar and elbow. Anytime a match starts with a collar and elbow these days, I'm like immediately locked in.
David Flair is now at the WCW.com booth, and he's being asked questions by the computer guy. It's not even Mark Madden asking the questions.
Poor guy.
Wondering what's going through David's mind as he teams with his legendary father against two former horsemen. And Flair says he's 19 and not a wrestler, but he's there for his dad. Followed by being asked if he's worried about injuries, which David replies, if it happens, it happens. He just wants his dad's respect. Aww.
Yeah.
Bumming me out over here.
But also, I forgot how nervous that kid is in front of a fucking camera, too.
Yeah, it was really unfair of them to allow him to do this. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, this is nepotism gone bad. There's some people, famous actors, typically have kids that are famous actors, and the ones that are good typically continue to get work, and the ones that aren't so good we forget about and they kind of fall by the wayside. But wrestling is different.
Well, typically,
More
even
demand.
when there's the nepotism thing going on, it's somebody who,
Trained?
well, trained and has, you know, some sort of visible talent in the ring.
Yeah.
And David, the only thing that he can show is how to make his cheeks get redder as he stands there nervously, awkwardly,
Feel bad for
stone-facedly.
I mean, he actually is an athlete. He was.
Oh, I know.
He was a
Yeah.
He's a fit guy,
high school wrestler.
but he doesn't have the
Probably
the
not
Flair
a good
charisma.
one because I don't think he ever wrestled in college. But
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't have his dad or his sister's charisma in the ring.
No.
Yeah, it's also one of those things like you just got to kind of put him through the paces as not Ric Flair's son, and have him work like the Monster Factory. Which did anybody come out of the Monster Factory that was worth a shit?
I'm sure there's someone.
Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, I said worth a shit. Goldberg is worth a lot of money.
That's not the Monster Factory. That's the
Oh, that was the power plant.
power.
Oh, that's what I
That's
meant
right.
to say was the power plant.
Oh.
What's the Monster Factory?
Monster Factory is independent
Okay.
wrestling school.
Yeah, I meant to say the powerhouse.
There's tons of people that have come out of Monster Factory.
Yeah, I meant to say the powerhouse or power plant. Sorry.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
yes, Goldberg is probably the biggest name that ever came.
Yeah,
out.
yeah. But I mean, like, as far as just people that are actually talented, Goldberg has a thing, but we don't say Goldberg is like Bret Hart or Finlay or even Norman Smiley in the ring.
Guys, don't ever say Goldberg is Bret Hart because
No.
I mean, if we ever want to get Bret Hart to respond to us, that might be the way to get it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that like Goldberg knows how to do a thing, but like,
This day.
did anybody learn more than Goldberg did in the power plant? But who knows?
If that's the case, it also makes me wonder what the fuck did he learn there?
I mean,
Super kick.
come on, guys. It was Assassin number 2 was the head trainer.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Jody Hamilton.
That's awesome.
So we go to our 7th match. Billy Kidman versus Juventud Guerrera versus Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio Jr. in a 4 corners match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. The champ came out first. Foreshadowing. And so Kidman and Ray start us off with head scissors and double crossbodies, bringing the others in to put the boots in them, so Billy and Mysterio tag out to let the others join the fray. And Guerrero and Psychosis exchange strikes and pin attempts to no avail, when Kidman and Ray jump in to double team their opponents with strikes, backbreakers, back body drop into a power bomb, followed by a Kidman crossbody onto Psychosis for a 2 count.
Oh, they move in quick.
Hoovy trips up Billy from the outside, allowing Psychosis to deliver a sit-out vertical suplex, before Guerrero flies in with a hurricanrana and a clothesline that sends Kidman to the floor. Mysterio jumps in to fight, only to be back body dropped out onto Billy, with Hoovy and Psychosis then arguing over who will dive off the apron. So Ray and Kidman respond with double sunset flip power bombs to their opponents onto the floor. Now back in the ring, Billy puts Guerrero on his shoulders with Mysterio springboarding in for a doomsday device for a near fall, followed by Ray's whip being reversed, with Psychosis kicking him from the apron. So Mysterio fights with him on the outside, monkey flipping his opponent over the ring post to the floor.
Damn.
Juvi then knocks Ray down and goes to run the ropes, but Kidman yanks him down by the hair from the apron before climbing to the top to fly off with a somersault splash onto Psychosis. Mysterio leaps back in, only to be caught in midair by a drop kick by Guerrero, who then uses Ray's back to leap over the ropes with a splash onto the rest of his opponents.
They're really doing it all, folks.
Yep.
If you were bored before this, you're probably waking up.
Mysterio then flies over the ref and ropes with a somersault senton, but Juvi and Psychosis have moved, causing Kidman to take the full blow. And Ray's held up by Psychosis with Guerrero charging in, only for Mysterio to move, taking Psychosis down instead, before the two left standing return to the ring, where Ray nails a springboard Thez press for a 2 count, when Juvi rolls through to be on top for a near fall. Guerrero keeps up the attack with a Juvi driver, but Psychosis breaks up the pin with a missile dropkick, taking Guerrero to the turnbuckles to deliver a forward flip head scissors for a 2 count. And Billy's in to slam Psychosis, who slips out the back and attempts a powerbomb, only to be reversed into a face crusher for a near fall, as Ray makes the save to hit a bulldog. Juvi leaps in to break up the pin attempt, leading to all 4 men brawling momentarily, until Mysterio reverses a whip to send Psychosis into their opponents, knocking them out of the ring. Ray with a cartwheel, only for Psychosis to catch and send him to the floor as well, where Guerrero slams their opponents onto the concrete, before Psychosis flies over the ropes with a swanton onto Billy and Mysterio. Juvi then tosses Kidman back in and heads up top to nail a missile dropkick, but Psychosis breaks up the pin, followed by a baseball slide to keep Ray down on the floor. Psychosis then goes for a slingshot senton onto Mysterio, only for Ray to move in time, while inside, Billy counters another Juvi driver into a reverse DDT, with Mysterio hitting a leg sweep to Kidman at the same time. Ooh. Billy heads up top while Ray takes out Psychosis on the floor with a Rana, allowing Kidman to deliver the shooting star press for the pin and the win, with Mysterio being a split second too late to make a save.
But that's the match we want to see, isn't it? Kidman Mysterio 1-on-1?
Yep.
Post-match, Ray and Billy shake hands, hug, and lift each other's arms in respect.
Love to see it.
Brothers.
I mean, yeah, 4 guys that know how to do it, doing it well.
Now, when they first walked out of the ring, it was like, man, I feel like I've seen every variation of this match already. But
yeah.
Because we have.
It was worth it.
But they pulled out all the stops here. And which is crazy to say because they kind of always do. But they also probably saw a lot of the first half of this show, or the first 2/3 of this show, and we're like, damn, we got to give these people something.
Exactly. We got to give this crowd something to cheer about.
Yeah. Us in
we know who's next.
Us in first gear is more entertaining than just about anything that's happened on this card.
Yeah.
We see Booker T in the WCW.com booth, and he's talking about Jericho versus Saturn not liking the way Chris won.
I didn't like it either.
When Jericho interrupts, taking offense to this. And Booker calls Chris's win a tainted victory, having the ref in his back pocket. So Jericho dares him to face him on Nitro. And if he's not careful, Booker will be wearing a dress too.
That's right, Mr. T.
I think that Booker T is the kind of guy that's not going to put on the dress.
Probably not.
I would just want to see Booker T beat the teetotal shit out of Chris Jericho.
We go to our 8th match. Curt Hennig and Barry Windham versus the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and David Flair with Arn Anderson. And the last time we saw Windham, was at Survivor Series 97, episode
around.
281. And Hennig at Fall Brawl 98, episode 319.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
And the Flayers rush the ring, chasing their opponents out when Nate takes the mic to call them Horseman rejects, daring Curt and Barry to enter. And Hennig promises to whip their asses, but he wants the ref to remove the enforcer, only for Billy Silverman to refuse.
Barry got the last laugh. He is now an official Hall of Famer as a horseman. Well, not now. He has been for a while, but
Yeah.
still. Reject my ass.
The Nature Boy tells them to stop stalling, to either go home, back to the WWF, or into the ring, which they finally oblige, with Windham wanting David to start. But Rick says no, until his son talks him into it.
Poor David looks all of 18 years old.
And the younger Flair surprises Barry with takedowns, a head scissors, and a hip toss, before Nate tags in to trade chops and eye rakes with their opponents. When Hennig takes control with a neck whip, sending the Nature Boy into a corner for a Flair flip to the floor. Windham with chops, running Nate into the railing before returning into the ring, where the Nature Boy catches Curt charging in with a back elbow, heading up top, only for Hennig to press slamming down to the mat.
Boo. The crowd's hot. They're stoked on Flair. Granted, this is...
I mean, it's his first match
in a while.
other than the Bischoff match.
Yeah, and it's also kind of Flair country. It's in this general area of the U.S.
Yes.
Barry returns with a superplex for a 2 count, mounted punches, but Nate rallies with an atomic drop and chops, only for Curt to jump in to stop a tag. And Hennig works the leg of the Nature Boy, applying a leverage-aided figure 4, along with other double teams that keep the momentum, until Arn pulls Curt out of the ring, while Nate ducks a clothesline to deliver a back suplex to Windham. The Nature Boy then locks on a figure 4 to Barry, when Hennig recovers against Anderson, running him into the railing and returning to stomp Nate, breaking up the hold. The Nature Boy attempts to fight off the double teams again, but it's too much and they go for a double suplex, when David comes in with a low blow to Curt, leaving Nate to roll up Windham for a 2 count. Barry and the Nature Boy run into each other, leaving both out for the count, while Hennig drags David into the ring. So the Enforcer rolls in with a tire iron to whack Hennig across the back, knocking him down with the younger Flair on top for the pin and the win. I like how Hennig had to grab hold of David to pull him on top of him as he's falling backwards.
Yeah, all the tricks you need to do to make this match happen were done, and so glaringly obvious that it was truly a disservice to poor David. He may have never got there, but this was too early.
Yep.
Post-match, the NWO B team run down to jump the Horsemen when Benoit comes to the rescue, but the numbers are too great. The NWO Elite join the fray, cuffing Nate to the ropes, allowing them to bully David, with Hogan shoving him over a kneeling Bagwell, only for the younger Flair to fight back. And the NWO rip his shirt, with Hollywood whipping him with his weight belt, before spray painting Eazy-E on his back.
This is kind of disgusting and too much. Where it's like, this kid, you're not even hiding the bullying or whatever. It just feels rude for the sake of being rude.
Yeah. You're all in your 40s picking on a 19-year-old.
Mm-hmm. And it was probably Rick's idea.
Probably. He's going to get his respect. He's going to earn it.
Yeah. We're trying to set up an
Beat
angle.
it into him.
We're trying to set up an angle. Buy you a new car.
Hogan then taunts the older Flair, saying this was for Bischoff, turning to the camera to promise to rule America with an iron fist.
Gross.
And letting Eric know he loves him. Hollywood turns back to the Nature Boy to tell him he's lucky he allows him to live in his world.
Gross.
Followed by whipping David some more and leaving to the back.
The whipping is really a lot.
The younger Flairs toss towards Nate, who hugs his son with tears in his eyes.
But the whole crowd chants, Hogan sucks, so it's working. But it's like, yeah, how does this not work? You just saw like this kid humiliated in front of his dad, and the kid looks like a kid.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We then get a video package for our main event. It's grainy black and white footage of the NWO attacking Goldberg, along with Scott Hall tasing him and leaving Bill spray painted and tased a few more times.
This package is like black and white and grainy, and it has weird sound effects, and it feels very artsy for WCW. It reminded me of like David Lynch of all things, where I was like, this is weird. Like, this is standing out in a weird way. I don't know that it's necessarily good for a wrestling package, but it was just an like interesting choice.
So we got our 9th match, Scott Hall versus Goldberg in a stun gun ladder match. So Michael Buffer makes the announcements. So let's get ready to bzz, bzz, bzz. So the rules of the match are that you win by grabbing the stun gun and zapping your opponent.
Nothing can go wrong here.
Not at all.
Hall takes the mic to tell everyone he has good news and bad news. The fans get to watch him, but there won't be a match, as Bill wet his pants, slipped in it, and hurt his knee.
Sounds more like a Scott Hall story.
Before telling the ref to raise his hand, only for Goldberg's music to hit, with him arriving with a brace on his knee. The match gets going as Bill shoves Scott around to begin, hitting a clothesline and a scoop slam, but he favors the injured knee. So Hall goes to work on the leg with boots, only for Goldberg to respond with a power slam. And Scott continues the punishment of the knee with elbows, ramming it against the apron and ring post, before rolling out to grab the ladder. But Bill meets him in the aisleway, where they brawl, with Hall being tossed into guardrails and then back into the ring. Goldberg grabs the ladder when Scott nails a baseball slide into the apparatus, knocking Bill down and allowing Hall to ram him headfirst into the ring steps, which busts Goldberg open.
Ooh,
Got a bleeder.
We got a Goldberg doing a juice job.
Then Scott sets the ladder up in the ring, heading up only to jump off with an elbow drop to his opponent, followed by climbing again, but Bill meets him this time for a back suplex. But Hall's up first to use the ladder as a weapon, before setting it back up to climb once more, only for Goldberg to shove the apparatus over, sending Scott throat first into the ropes. Hall tries to use the ladder as a weapon again, but Bill blocks and connects with a clothesline, followed by whipping his opponent into the apparatus that's now set in a corner. And Goldberg keeps up the attack by whacking Scott with the ladder multiple times before going up, only for Hall to drop kick the apparatus, causing Bill to land on his bad knee.
No.
And Scott works over Goldberg momentarily, followed by attempting another climb. But Bill tips the ladder over, with Hall falling awkwardly to the mat, giving Goldberg the opportunity to make his way up, when Disco Inferno comes running down to tip over the apparatus, sending Bill throat first into the ropes.
Can't believe Goldberg agreed to Disco being like that again.
Disco helps Scott up the ladder to grab the stun gun, only for Goldberg to block and connect with a thrust kick, which sends the taser out to the floor.
Goldberg agreeing the Disco was a silent jab at Jericho. This could have been you, fucker.
And you can hear a fan like yelling at Bill, "Hey, the taser's over here!
Yep.
It's over here!"
Mm-hmm.
Which allows Goldberg to pick it up and stare down Hall, when Disco Inferno runs over again, so Bill tases him. And Goldberg gets back in the ring with Scott begging off. So Bill tosses the stun gun into the air, nails a spear and a jackhammer, followed by stunning Hall for the win.
They did all the things I would have assumed they would have done if you told me Scott Hall, Goldberg were having a stun gun on a rope match. We pushed over the ladder 4 or 5 times. We hit each other with the ladder 4 or 5 times.
Get outside interference.
We worked a limb, and little wrestling was done.
Post-match, Bam Bam Bigelow runs down to attack Goldberg, allowing Scott to grab the stun gun to use on both men. As Tony says, Bill got the win, but Hall got the vengeance as we fade to black.
Fans don't even get to cheer for Goldberg holding the belt.
Well, there's no belt.
Oh, wait. No, yeah, you're right. There is no belt.
Hogan's the champ.
Hogan is the champ.
Yep.
Remember?
Yeah,
Hogan did?
yeah. I forget about him because we know the deal. But yeah, it's like, oh, all right. Well, Scott Hall's like, I'll take the loss, but let me get over on.
I'm getting my heat back.
I'm getting my heat back.
So I ask you, gentlemen, what are your overall thoughts of Sold Out 1999?
Who cares? It has moments. Lex was on the show. No Diamond Dallas Page. Is he just not allowed to be on pay-per-views anymore because everybody likes him more than everyone else? No Nash, no Sting. WCW has a tone issue that is just my kind of major problem. Kind of reminds me of like ECW at times, where it's just a little like a kitchen sink show, where sometimes you'll have matches that appeal to certain types of fans and then ones that don't. Or AEW kind of does the same thing, but it's like nothing feels cohesive. Everything, each match kind of feels like it's in its own world, and then there's just like this one big world at the top that they seem to try to do things with. And there's people that are trying things lower on the card, like Jericho and Chavo and like even Norman Smiley. People are trying to do things because no one's paying attention. But yeah, it's just a tone issue. You watch a WWF show, you kind of know what you're going to get. The vibe is cohesive throughout, even if these things aren't like touching each other. Yeah. It still feels like it's all from the same universe, the same show.
Here, I'm going to kick your ass. Yeah. This guy over here, I'm going to kick your ass. This guy over here, I'm going to kick your ass. Instead of this guy here, I'm going to kick your ass. This guy over here, I'm playing on my hobby horse. This guy over here.
Yeah, is getting stun gunned.
I don't have anybody from Mortal Kombat to play with anymore.
Or beating up children. Yeah.
For me, it was like a roller coaster that, you get the opening credits where you're ticking up the hill for that initial drop off, and then the the Benoit match starts, and you take that plunge down real fast because you're falling down that steep hill.
But it's a short one.
And then you just keep falling, and you slowly tick your way back up once what the fuck match was it even that started ticking back up? Maybe Konnan, Luger time, because Saturn and Jericho were out there afterwards, and it kind of ticks back up, and then it just kind of stays at medium level there, and you're just flatline for the rest of the show. I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't talked about it in a few weeks or something, but there was potential, and it just...
Yeah. It mostly feels like, it's like, it feels like a whole bunch of we don't care. And then it's like, obviously the thing that they care about is the grossest thing on the show. And that might just be a hindsight thing, but like the David Flair stuff, it's like, well, that worked the best. Yeah. But it wasn't good.
Yeah, it
just got the most
it definitely could have been worse.
Reaction.
We've seen worse, but in the line of WCW pay-per-views, it's about what I'm used to anymore.
Yeah, those early matches on the card, none of them are like awful.
No,
they're just kind of like, what are we doing here? People paid money for this.
Yep.
Finlay and Van Hammer, nothing against either guy, but is that like, if you look at each match being like $5, if like obviously that's the or whatever for like the payment, because you have to pay for this on pay-per-view. You have to call somebody up at this point in 1999. It's like, yeah, even if they're all $3 and you call the card $10, it's like, were any of these worth $3? Like, yeah, it's not like you can just tune in the next day and watch it on replay on the internet or whatever.
So I maybe I like the show better than I don't know exactly.
Because I don't have any.
But
it's just like, what are we doing?
because like I was actually like,
there's some good
is this
wrestling.
the first time a WCW show actually got better as it went? Because like usually all the good matches are at the very beginning, and then it just goes downhill. And I actually feel like this one, like those first 3 matches,
Fine.
like why are they
shouldn't be there.
Why are they on this big? Like the Finlay Van Hammer match isn't even on the official VHS tape. That's how much that match didn't matter.
Truly, it's the one that I would. It's the first one I'd cut.
But like those first 3 matches, they should be on Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
Even Nitro doesn't.
I mean,
they should just be on the
maybe
video game, and that's
I'll
it.
give Smiley and Chavo a spot on Nitro, but the other 2, they need to be on Thunder at best, if not Saturday Night Main Event. Like once you get to the Wrath and Bam Bam stuff, I really do feel like the show kind of kicks into gear, and I don't have an issue with the Flair match at all. Like I think they did that match correctly.
I think they did it correctly. It's just like I said, it's a hindsight thing where it's like this just feels kind of gross and mean. But that's just because somebody passed away way too young of an age.
And I thought Goldberg and Hall, like, for what we know Goldberg can do,
Yeah.
like, they used the ladder correctly.
Yeah, I just didn't have any.
They used the limb work to make sure that it wasn't a 5-second match like it probably should be.
I think the thing is that, like, they did all of the tricks correctly, but I never got caught up in the match. I just saw them do the things correctly.
Yeah.
So a great wrestling match to me is one where they're doing everything correctly, but I'm sucked into it as opposed to just being like, hey, I see you doing all the right stuff. And when we were dealing with like stars, people at the top of the card, I shouldn't be patting them on the back for you did it right, but I didn't care.
You're here.
But even saying all that, the show's still very average.
Yes.
But when they don't make a booking decision that makes me question if they know what they're doing, I consider it a win for WCW.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bar has been lowered.
It's pretty low.
It's pretty low, and I appreciate you being charitable because that's where I need to bring myself mentally when I go into these WCW shows. And we probably should have started doing it in '91.
Probably.
And I'm sure so. There's some of those shows back there that stink to high heaven even more than this one, but it's just one of those things where it's like, oh, just rose-colored glasses. Like, I remember, what was his fucking name? The guy that did the log roll.
Oh, Big Josh.
Yeah, I remember Big Josh and being like, this stinks, but it's that era where it's like, well, they're just trying stupid gimmicks. So you just kind of, it's like when I was watching it, I was probably like, what the fuck? This is dumb. But
that's the difference between being in our first 100 episodes and
Yeah.
being in our 344th episode.
dear listeners, I believe the word is jaded. But I'm gonna try I'm gonna try to be better, do better. This is my notes app apology.
I'd rather be lost in the sauce while I'm watching it than reading the ingredients trying to find out what the fuck is in it.
Exactly. I need to try to tap into some childlike whimsy.
Good. Where's the smart marks at? All right. Fuck you.
I think it's time we smark it up. So what are some of the best moments of this show?
I mean, the four-way match that feel like we've seen a million times.
Yes.
That's an example of them doing everything right and getting caught up in it. Because also it helps that these guys are smaller and superior athletes, and they
are not afraid to work.
well, they're also very kinetic. Like it's just, it's. I mean, I think it's the best, most entertaining match on the show easily. Yeah. If you like wrestling, but if you're here for the story, there's the last two matches on the card. Which I'm not here for the story, but this one had story and entertainment.
The bickering between Shivani and Bobby Heenan throughout the show, I can't tell if it's just staged or if they are getting on each other's nerves throughout the entire thing.
Oh no, Bobby hates Tony Schiavone, and he probably should.
Yeah, they're constant back and forth between each other throughout the show. That was something that distracted me in a positive way from some of the shit that I was watching.
I mean, Bobby used to work with
Talent.
Gorilla Monsoon.
Yeah.
And they were incredible together.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's working next to maybe one of the most boring guys. Like, is it Bob Caudle?
Mm-hmm.
Who is like, we love Bob Caudle because he was the guy from like that era, but he wasn't. He called it like it was a baseball game essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and we love him for that. But we're kind of past that. And Tony Schiavone is doing like a bad version of trying to call it like a baseball game, but he doesn't know any wrestling moves, and then trying to be funny, which he's not. So Bobby doesn't have a whole lot to work with, and I'm sure it got really annoying. But the money pays, and WWF's not calling him back up.
It's not on this show in particular, but Saturn takes the dress gimmick and owns it.
Oh, yeah.
From
Yeah.
this point forward.
Oh,
So-
yeah, he does. I forgot about that because I was like, oh, yeah, the dress. And I was like, why do I remember Saturn in dress? It's like, oh, yeah, because...
I mean,
He
he
owns
basically wears it until he leaves
Yeah.
for WWF.
Which is pretty admirable
Soon-ish.
for Saturn to be like, you know what? Fuck it. People will at least remember this.
That's true.
Yep.
People do.
It's kind of, yeah, like everybody on the bottom of the card is kind of fight or flight. And then the guys that are sticking or memorable are the ones that are attempting to do a thing. Whereas, Finlay and Van Hammer, here's your shot, but like, what did you do with it? So you had a watchable wrestling match, but like, people are gonna remember the Pepe and the urn and the dress, but
And the big wiggle.
and all that. But like, Finlay and Van Hammer came down there like they were wrestling in 1984, like just having a like decent wrestling match. Got to do more than that.
You were just talking about Fit Finlay, and it took me back to I want to see Fit Finlay and Steven Regal again because just brawl it.
Yeah, I mean that's Fit Finlay having a good time.
Old Arn Anderson getting involved.
Yep, always love to see Arn.
Like whenever Curt like shoves him into the railing, I was just like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
Arn's taking a bump."
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, that's the thing about this show. It's like there's not like tons of high points.
It's one of those things where like nothing's truly like terrible, but that's why I kind of started with like, but who cares?
I mean, it's true.
But like, I don't think there's any like awful matches here. The biggest issue ring wise is the guy that we know going in is going to be an issue ring wise before the match even happens. It's because he's teen and incredibly inexperienced, and they hide the shit out of
They
it.
hide the shit out of it. Exactly.
They hide the shit out of it, and then when you walk away, the thing you're
mean,
supposed to remember is the fact that he got beat up.
Here's the thing: like this match was supposed to be a handicap match to begin with. When David was like, "Let me be your partner," it was still a handicap match.
Yep.
Yeah,
With David Flair getting like 3 moves in.
Yeah.
3 moves and a low blow.
Low blow.
Yeah.
And then taking a whooping.
How about most disappointing?
I mean, I mentioned it to start off with, but what the fuck is Mike Enos doing opening the show?
Exactly.
I mean, I just
He's
want to
there
know
so I can do the Kinks joke.
who in the booking department looked at this card and thought, people are going to pay money for this stuff.
They looked at the top 2 and said, "That's all we need, brother."
I mean, that's how you sell. You don't sell pay-per-views
From the bottom of the card.
on the
up.
bottom of the card.
No,
It's
but
true. But
you don't sell.
as if you're looking for, also, I don't think they expected people to outside of freaks to be going back and watching these the way that people do now, or that they're available now. So
This is when you're trying to regain your lead from somebody who's just finally overpassed you in the viewership steadily. And
but
this is what you think is going to draw people in.
it's just kind of further proof that they didn't know what they were doing in the first place. They're just like, oh, you know, a blind squirrel gets a nut, and that's kind of the story of WCW.
It's nitpicky because it has no bearing on the match because it happened after the match was over. But after the Goldberg Scott Hall match, when Bigelow comes out, the cameraman goes to the curtain where nobody has walked through yet and stares at it for what feels like 15 seconds before somebody walks in as a surprise run-in. When Bam Bam comes down,
Yeah, that was a bad
called
camera
on
catch.
this?
They're never gonna have the production that's WWF.
I'm surprised they haven't cut it out since then, because it's a bad look.
Maybe they did on the VHS where they also skipped Van Hammer and
That could be.
Finlay.
Actually, if you go to when you watch the Wrath Bam Bam match, Bam Bam's blown up
Yeah.
halfway through that match.
Yep. Bobby spends the majority of the
You-
time
you are
talking
not
about the
in ring
size of
shape,
Wrath's
bro.
feet.
No, Bam. That's the other thing is Bam Bam never stays and feels like he stays in one place long enough, or like to just get in the reps. He's not doing cartwheels, and he's not the impressive big man that he was in like
Typically, he
88.
sticks around for a
92.
year, gets to where he has that main event spot, and then
And also WCW doesn't do house shows, right?
They do.
Okay, I wasn't sure. But I was like, wasn't sure if because in WWF it's like everybody's working all of the time. If they don't have an option to be blown
There's
up.
a chance Bam Bam's probably headlining house shows because
Yeah,
everybody above him probably has the if you want to show up.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
contract.
for sure.
yep, Bam Bam against Buff.
How about best performer of the night? Is it one of the cruisers?
Yeah, I
mean,
mean,
it's
I'm
the
torn
best
between the four
match.
of them.
Yeah.
The guy who yelled at ringside because he made his way
yeah.
over the crowd.
That was so funny that I was like, is that a plant? But it's like, well, we didn't know exactly where the thing was gonna land. They probably had an idea of where you were supposed to throw it, but
Yeah,
I mean, Rick was great with his promos, and he was really feeling it. And
He also
we got
did a,
we got Rick in the I'm excited mode, which happens once every 6 months at this point.
You got Rick yelling "fuck you" and all that other stuff during the match while he's handcuffed to them, and
Man, I kind of think it is Rick.
yeah, he's playing the
I mean, he's
protective
held in
father.
high regard for a reason. But yeah, he's outside of like Goldberg. That's what people are stoked on is Flair, because you can even he'll come back sometimes and be like, oh, this is not the Flair that we want or need. It's never quite as bad as our recent Terry Funk fiasco, but sometimes like, oh, Rick is depressed. And this is Rick who feels like he has energy, and Ric Flair with energy, whether it is purchased and paid for it or actually coming from the soul, doesn't always really matter. It's there.
And how about most surprising? DDP not being on the show.
DDP not being, yeah. I mean, I'm so over DDP not being on the show. It seems like it happens all the time. Yeah, it's just crazy because he'll work.
Only one title match on this show. Like it literally was like, guys, we got Super Brawl here in like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
but we have this show coming up. I guess we'll throw something together.
And for a company that used to care about, I guess it's been quite a while since the tag team division really mattered. It's basically that ended as soon as Booker T and Stevie Ray broke up.
I'll give you
and the
spoiler
Steiners
alert
broke up
for the tag, because the last time we saw the tag belts was Rick Steiner had beaten Scott Steiner.
Yeah,
Judy Bagwell is
and
his
then
tag
Judy
partner.
Bagwell was his partner at one point, and Kenny Chaos. So they were gonna do a tag team tournament. They started it, but then the Outsiders went, but no, the belts are ours. And so
we just killed tag team wrestling.
So then they basically just started beating up tag teams anytime they had a match in this tournament. So we'll see it in a few weeks. They actually do restart the
tag division,
the tag tournament with teams and stuff.
Yeah, but it's like the tag.
So like that's a big storyline. Yeah. That's a big thing that happens at Super Brawl is the whole tag team tournament.
Tag team wrestling is important because guys get to get better without having it to just be one-on-one matches. Like, that's how we get a Shawn Michaels and a Bret Hart. And, like, it's just kind of the way, tag team wrestling is important for developing talent and...
Sir Mo.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Exactly.
Developing talent.
Yeah, that just... Boo. Boo.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Turn the lights down. Turn the projector on. Because we're ready to rumble. This week's film is Kid Millions. It was released November 10th, 1934 by United Artists. Directed by Roy Del Ruth and written by Nunnally Johnson, a two-time Oscar nominee, and Nat Perrin. It stars Eddie Cantor, Ann Sothern, a one-time Oscar nominee, George Murphy, and Ethel Merman, a one-time Grammy nominee. The plot of this film is it's a musical comedy about a Brooklyn boy who inherits a fortune from his archaeologist father, but must go to Egypt to claim it. Some fun trivia about this one is Lucille Ball was one of the chorus girls.
I know, I saw her name in the opening credits, and I was like, I think that was her.
Interesting.
The fantasy sequence that's in this film is one of the first attempts at 3-strip Technicolor. And also the cast of Our Gang appear during that sequence.
What's Our Gang?
Little Rascals?
It's a different version of Little Rascals, basically.
Okay. I got you. It's kind of like an Addams Family / Munsters thing. Where it's
Kinda,
like,
sorta.
like Addams Family started like 6 months before the Munsters or something like that.
It's like Transformers and GoBots.
Yeah. I love the Technicolor segment.
So the reviews and ratings for the show, IMDb gives it a 6.7, Letterboxd is a 3.1. And I found this review from the New York Times from Andre Sinwald in 1934. Superior screen comedy. Poured almost everything that seemed helpful to the cause of pleasure. Continuously reliable bazaar of gaiety and music.
Well, how about that?
And the fantasy sequence is the most successful example of fantasy in color seen outside of Disney cartoons.
I would say it's the most memorable thing in the movie to me.
My review of this film is this film has a bit of everything. Musical numbers, funny one-liners, blackface,
Pulls the collar.
and interesting performances. My favorite being Ethel Merman as the 19-year-old mother to our lead.
That was a good bit.
But these are all just parts of the puzzle that don't always fit together to give you the full picture. And our wrestler of the film is Tor Johnson, who plays one of the torturers of our main character. No lines, ties him up at one point. So I gave this movie a 3.0 and a wrestler performance of 3.0 as well. Michael, I also had you watch this film. Give me a second opinion.
I'd say you're mostly right, Matt. Act 1 is fun, but as soon as they left the boat, I kind of had a hard time focusing. It feels like it's just the movie's always moving to a place, but it feels like a bunch of comedy sketches like stitched together. So the connective, like you said, the connective tissue really wasn't there, but it probably was in the three separate, like in the 3 acts. It was probably there, but like in between them, you just kind of it's hard to focus. I did think that there was some very funny stuff in here. Like every single one of those sketches had a good joke or two, or was funny throughout, but it's not one that's gonna stick with you, I don't think.
Definitely.
But it started strong. I loved the color segment at the end of the movie. It looked incredible, and it reminded me of years ago, like the early AI, because that's how surreal it looks. It looks like that early AI where somebody would be like making weird animations of like some kind of like fantasy element, and you knew there was something off about it, and you knew it was AI, but it still looked like this bizarre new thing. And this has that same look, except for it's completely real, and it's just the technology and then obviously the choices. But that whole set and setup and like the way like the 3-strip Technicolor, like the way those colors look and pop is pretty insane in a good way. But don't know if I had to tell anybody to watch this. Not that it's bad, but it's like I said, you could just take the best parts of this movie and put them in YouTube clips and enjoy them for what they are.
Yeah, basically, if I give, for general reference, if I give a 3.0 to a film, it basically means like some people are probably going to enjoy the movie, but I'm not going to say that it's going to knock anybody's socks off.
Yeah.
It's not going to make anyone like turn their nose up at it.
No, and like for the time period that it's made, it does feel like camera work wise, and yeah, like it doesn't feel like soggy or stale the way that some old movies do. It does have some energy. The issue is, like Shane earlier talking about the roller coaster. This one has the slow ramp up and then the drop, but the drops are like feel shorter and shorter each time, and the ramp up feels longer and longer like each time. So it was kind of hard to focus, like I said, after they get off the boat, but all the way up until they were on that boat, I was having a good time.
Yeah. But if this does sound interesting to you,
It's very available.
as of recording, this film was either on Amazon or Hoopla. We're big fans of the Hoopla.
I believe it's also on Pluto and
That's what that meant.
and Tubi, because I for some reason was having an issue casting it to my TV with Hoopla, so I was like, I don't feel like dealing with this, and found it on Hoopla, so you know.
Hoopla, that word has just been...
Pluto.
It's been surrounding me the last few days. I've heard it 3 days in a row now.
It's a great service. You just put in your library card and you can rent books, audio books, comic books, movies.
It's a good service.
A canopy.
We're big supporters of the public library system.
Yeah, because streaming services stink now,
That's
and
right.
sometimes you want to watch Kid Millions.
That's right.
And
Reading is fundamental.
Yeah, for sure.
Next week, Royal Rumble 1999. We excited?
I mean, I imagine that everybody that's listening has an idea of what this show is, and if they don't, I'd urge you to watch it before you come back and listen.
The final rumble of the 90s.
Yep.
Music from this week's show is Runaway by Alex Williams and George Shapiro. And Goldberg won our main event, so we play Invasion by Christian Poulet and Jean Yves-Rigo.
Sure didn't feel like he won.
And if you like this episode or any of our other ones, please go out there, rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you find your podcasts at. Do as Michael says.
5 stars or no stars. We're a little fish in the biggest of ponds. We don't have commercials or ads, and we do it for the love of the game, and we're not just another old wrestler telling you shoot stories. The ones you've heard a million times.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions, comments, concerns,
Hey, folks. I haven't got to say this in a while, but we're going... Where the fuck are we going next? We're going to Anaheim, so give me some Cali ideas, and then give us a shout-out on Twitter, slide into our DMs or something with some ideas. What did you enjoy most while I wasn't here? I want to know. Give me some ideas, because I'm still catching up on the episodes myself, so... Yeah, give us a...
Knuckle sandwich.
Yes. Just talk to us. We've sat here... Well, they've sat here for the last few weeks without you, or without me.
Shane was in our hearts.
Yes. You guys were in my hearts as well as I was soaking up alcohol on the couch. But yeah, I want to know what you've enjoyed most over the last few weeks without Shane here, and how may I make things better for you now that I'm back.
you can send any of those things to our email at wrestlinghistoryx@gmail.com or find us on X at WrestlingHistoX. That's Wrestling HISTO.
X.
We'll talk to you next week.
Laters.